So a little bit about 2 weeks ago, one evening, I opened the ChatGPT app as I always do, and I see something different. It's called Pulse. It's a new function. I click on it without thinking, and that genuinely surprised me. As if it's like ChatGPT is saying, here's what everything that has happened in the world of ideas today. And ever since then, this little function has become my daily rituals. Sometimes I open my days with it, sometimes I end my evening with it. I know it sounds dramatic, but I genuinely think this might be one of the best functions that ChatGPT has come out. So in this video, I want to show you what Pulse function really is, how I use it every day, and what it can help you to in your day-to-day life. Not just to find new ideas, but to make space for the right ones. So if you haven't seen yet, Pulse is ChatGPT's new feed. You'll find right on the home screen or at the sidebar, you can see that it is just at the left-hand sidebar, which is here. It's called Pulse, and then you go into the Pulse function. If you don't see it here, whenever you open a new chat, it also will say it at the beginning, say today's Pulse. What you're all caught up for today, which is not true because I haven't seen anything yet. And it knows what kind of stuff that I've been building on, the news that I don't even know that I need, but I actually need. What it does is actually quite simple. It curates feeds as if you have your personal chief of staff to tell you the top 5 things that you actually need to know for the day. It's not going to bombard you with breaking news every now and then, all the hours. It's only going to tell you what you actually need to know. And it also sometimes gives you prompts, the ideas and improvements of how you can use OpenAI, what kind of news is coming up, like Sora's updates, OpenAI's late developments, and all of the other stuff as well. The magic of it, I think, is it doesn't feel like doom scrolling. If you go into it, it's mainly maybe 5-6 topics. You may get a dozen of cards, enough to just spark your curiosity and give you some ideas. If you like those chats, you can save it and then it become your normal chat. You don't have to remember it. You don't have to interact with it. There's no mandatory things that, oh, you have to remember this or that. I think of it as if I have an executive assistant and also a chief of staff who understand every single part of my life. Because what I'm doing now, there's so many little things that I need to pay attention to, but I'm a human being. I cannot remember everything. So it's good to have an assistant on the side. So when I first saw it, I think 10 p.m. in the evening, I just got so excited. I get to work a little bit longer than I expected to, but because I'm very excited of all the new ideas, really simple and easy and also relevant to what I do every day. It just feels like somebody is trying to look after you and give you a little bit of ideas, not too much. Nowadays, whenever I open my emails and my phone, there's a million notifications about breaking news. Somewhere there's some disasters happen, there's a war broke out and things like that. I genuinely think we should be informed citizens, but I don't want my brain to be constantly bombarded by all the news that the news media want me to see. The Pulse app actually feels quite intentional because of how much I've customized ChatGPT. For my ChatGPT, it feels like someone who's genuinely looking after me. I can use it first thing in the morning before I start doing anything else. I use it before I open emails, and so then I can have some refreshed ideas to warm up my brain. And sometimes I check it before I go to bed because then I have a prepared mindset to go into the next day. But then because the way that it's framed, it's not very enforced. So it just show you, oh, I think you need to know this thing. Maybe you need to look into this, and this. And once you like it, you can just simply tap the bookmark button and then it will save as a normal chat. The names are very random, right? And you can also organize it in the way that you want to, either become a normal chat or it becomes part of your projects. For the people who are new to this channel, I also talk about a lot of other things about how I use ChatGPT since end of 2023. But since the beginning of this year, I have been consistently building up content for people who are like myself. This is the playlist for you. And the previous video, I talked about how you organize your chats. So this is also part of the extension of it. This is how you use this new function. So I'm going to show you quickly about today's feed. Once you open ChatGPT, automatically shows up as today's Pulse, or you can open it from the sidebar. So you go into the Pulse, then it automatically go into today, October 7th, the post, and it knows what I'm trying to do in the next few weeks. So it says, let's start with something practical. Your 2 October events. Polish events opts for comedy night and carbon removal breakfast club. This is really, really helpful because it feels like I am constantly thinking about this already, but I cannot be working all the time 24/7, but ChatGPT can. So if I have someone who's at the background working nonstop for me to tell me how I can make this better, says, oh, here's a tight game plan for your 2 October events. Yada, yada, yada. Like, how do you do it? The arrival. It might not always fit into your current life because I'm not updating every single detail to ChatGPT, even though almost there. I think this one is just okay, so I'm not going to do anything about it. And then it also said, oh, what's on your mind lately? I will remember for tomorrow's update. So I'm curious about my upcoming plans include, keep me updated on what. And all of these stuff, you can also just tell ChatGPT what's on your mind. It knows that I'm writing my newsletter and says that, oh, maybe these are ready to paste investor and policy blogs and cut straight to substance. For example, it talks about the German 6 billion CCFD plus measurable removals. Honestly, can I just research the internet about this? Yes, but I have to go through 1,000 tabs and all the different kind of noise to get to this summarized information. Then it would take me a lot more time. It talks about, for example, Vicarb is a company that I know. They closed 5 million. Then you can also go into see the source 7 hours ago, so it's quite new and present. So because I'm not receiving all the notifications all the time, and even though if I want to, my phone and all the other apps are not allowing me to receive all the informations and updates that's most relevant to me. It might be most relevant to how they maximize the attention span, but not to me. So this is really, really helpful. And then I would just put a like to show that I actually like this. I can also save it, which is this. Then it's gonna show up on my feed now. And then now if I want to go back to the post, I just go back to the post and see what else is there. So sometimes it gives me some kind of news that I need to know, and sometimes it gives me some content that I might want to know. Because I'm a content creator, so it always gives me some kind of news or development about content as well. It says sort of to ads rights to control and API access. These are the contents it's good to know, and I don't think I'll save it. What's the point? So I'm going to just give it a like and to say that I like it. And finally, a gentle pause. Autumn reset check-in could help you realign before your Lisbon and Hong Kong stretch. Think about if you have a chief of staff, it knows everything about you all the time, and it goes through first is business, second is personal, and finally is your mental well-being. That's how I think ChatGPT is so helpful on this. It's basically how I use it, and I think everyone's feeds will be different depending on how you've been using ChatGPT, how you've been interacting with it. According to ChatGPT, the OpenAI website, it's not available to Plus user yet, so it's unfortunately only for Pro user. And I think that also acts to the other argument that what kind of people would need to use Pro. It's exactly the people like myself who've been living in ChatGPT in the past 2 years, and it knows me very well. So that's why I think for functions like this, it helps me the most. Whereas if it's a user who just only going to check on something once a week, it might not be that helpful. Now it's only available to Pro users, but I believe how ChatGPT push its content and functions and products, it always rolled out to from Pro to Plus to free users. It's just a different limit. But this is the latest and newest function, and I'm proud to say I've been in love with this function. If you have access, please promise me to use it, okay? Because you pay $200, £200, whatever currency that you use around that area every month, you want to use to the maximum. This is the next level best use case for ChatGPT. Don't miss it. Don't miss it, please. If I can summarize for people who are new to this function, it's very, very user-friendly. It doesn't really require you to understand where it is, how to use it. It just automatically show up as if someone who's very gently gives you a bottle of water when you just finish a day of putting out fire at work. Or as if your partner at home who's just very nicely set up a warm bath for you when you need it. First, it refreshes daily. If you don't see some things today, it will pop up tomorrow. You can curate feed and don't feel like you have to see everything. it's fine because it always show up again. And because if you're interacting with ChatGPT quite often, it always pick up the most important things that's on top of your mind to provide a new idea, and don't chase it. Very importantly, you can always curate. It asks you, what do you want to see tomorrow? What kind of things are on your mind? You can always set it up. It tracks what matters most to you, feedback history. And then this is my feedback history. So you've mentioned planning your comedy night, and then next carbon removal breakfast club, and use Chinese hospitality and unreasonable hospitality while tracking investor shifts, China's carbon moves, biochar momentum, and fresh air finance content. Anything I missed? And then you can put in stuff. Don't feel like it's another to-do list, right? It's because all of these tools are supposed to help you in your real life, not to become another tool you cannot turn away from. I would think of it as like a little surprise every day from ChatGPT and see, oh, this is an interesting idea. This one I haven't thought about yet. Oh, actually, let me go into the feed. I would say, yes, I would also like some tips about how I can build climate qubit better. And then it would remembers it, I think. Got it, I will keep in mind. Thanks for sharing that. Great, okay. Now this is how you provide feedback. And finally, I think what makes this post function really different is how intentionally it is. It doesn't push you to go through everything or have another step, because one of the things most of the people complaining about ChatGPT and all of these AI is it's always asking you, oh, do you want to do this one step next? But this one feels very, very intentional. It doesn't try to keep you there. It invites you to go somewhere else, to read, to explore, to think. That's very rare. I think in today's economy, especially for the intention economy, it's very rare. I'm also aware that it's trying to keep us all on ChatGPT, right? Because it comes up with new functions and the better functions every day, and people like me and other people, creators on the internet, trying to help you go through all of these functions. But as long as I think if you develop a healthy relationship with how you use it, realistically understand it has shortcomings and limits, how you should also develop your own critical thinking using that, not being a slave of this kind of function. It also reminds me that I don't have to scroll endlessly. It actually helped me create better. This is how I've been using post function, and I'm very, very excited. This is genuinely the best function I've been using since I upgraded to ChatGPT Pro. And then now I would say with this function, it's definitely worth it now, for me. If you've tried it, I wanted to know how you curate your feed for your posts and how you think we can better use it. I really like it because instead of noise, it asks a question that I haven't thought about it yet. It created a prompt that can make my day feels better. If you're new to this channel, I'm Lydia. I'm a banker turned entrepreneur. I use ChatGPT in all fronts of my life. If you have any questions about how to use ChatGPT or genuinely in life, I really love to hear from you. I wish you have a nice rest of the day, and I'll see you next time.